glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the faithful light, speak of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.
Great truth. Our nation really needs Ron Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Ron Paul.
It sounds like you're having a lot of fun. That's good. It sounds to me like the spirit of liberty is alive and well in Nevada. You know, I see signs on occasion that says you've, and it refers to me, and they said, you've cured me of my apathy. But I have to tell you, you've cured me of my skepticism, and I thank you for it. You know, this campaign has been pretty interesting, and on occasion it breaks some of the old rules of politics, if you haven't noticed. But one of the early rules that you learn in politics is that everything has to be uniform. Everybody has to take the orders from the top down, and everybody's signs are supposed to look the same. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we have a campaign going with more diversity in signs and campaigning and people than ever, and I thank you. Because of the enthusiasm of the campaign and a number of people that have joined and all the activity going on around the country, as well as those individuals who are following the internet, and you know, are sending $1 or $2 in and raising some money. It's pretty amazing, I'll tell you that. It's very impressive. Thank you for that. You know, in a way, money counts, and money got the attention of the media. We've certainly got a lot more attention since we've been raising this kind of money, but it's rather neat, too, that we can raise money, whether it was in the third quarter or on November 5th. All of a sudden, we raise these large sums of money, and the money is in the bank, and then we get about 3 times as much money's worth of publicity from it. So we're doing pretty well on that. But obviously, I give credit to the message. I know I get a lot of credit, and hopefully I help to a large degree, but really, it's people like you who join with the enthusiasm and the beliefs and the conviction that we can solve our problems, and the problems aren't that difficult. We can solve them merely by obeying the law and reading the Constitution. I've never denied the fact that I was hesitant to get involved in the campaign. Many individuals over the years asked me to do it, longtime supporters and others who heard the message and got frustrated with all the other candidates who would say, join in, and get in the campaign. And I was truly reluctant, and I figured I don't know how many people are out there that really have been and are still true believers and want changes, and I wasn't sure about how many young people would respond to it. Well, to my delight, let me tell you what I've learned in the last 10, 12 months, and that is, first, there are a lot more people who are well tuned into this and want this message and will defend it and are excited about the campaign. Not only that, we found out that and joining us by leaps and bounds. And that is also very important and exciting. Children in and introduce me to them. Today it's different. Most of the time now, the kids, the teenagers, the high school and college kids are coming in and they want to introduce me to their parents, and that's how they got in. There is no doubt in my mind that the message of freedom brings people together. I am astounded by that, and the crowds that we're getting, there is great and grand diversity. And that's the way it should be, because freedom is not threatening. Because if you really believe in freedom, you don't want to intimidate your friends and neighbors by writing laws pretending that you can legislate virtue. It doesn't work, and therefore people don't feel intimidated. The same way when it comes to economic issues, it's recognized in a free society that it's your money, and you get to spend it, and nobody should be telling you how to spend your own money. Or economic confrontation, obviously you don't see your neighbors as enemies, you see them as friends and allies. Today, exactly the opposite has happened. We have allowed so much of our government to gravitate to Washington, and unfortunately even gravitating to a higher level up into the international government, which we should positively oppose. But the whole fact is that when we have this national control of our lives and this idea that they have to pass every rule and regulation of how we perform our personal behavior as well as controlling our money, what does it do? It sends a message out that the only way you can get control back is you have to be a high-powered lobbyist to go to Washington and work for your special interest. The little people don't have the representation, so they get squeezed out and pushed aside, and then those who have the powerful special interest, whether you're in the medical industrial complex or the military industrial complex or the banking industrial complex, believe me, they have clout in Washington, and that's when happens, it becomes very divisive. And when the economy goes down, and when there's less production and the government has less, then everybody is clawing at each other and fighting over it. That's what welfare and socialism does. Freedom does the opposite. It allows us to be non-confrontational, bring people together, and if we defend liberty and understand liberty, we realize that the purpose of liberty is to strive personally for excellence and virtue. That is not a responsibility of government. This has been going on a long time before 9/11. It's been going on too long in this country, essentially for the past 100 years in a deliberate fashion. But the whole purpose of getting people to capitulate, the way they do this is they have to build up fear in the hearts and the mind of the people. The people have to believe that if I don't have government to take care of me, then I won't have a job, I won't have any wealth, I won't have medical care, I won't get an education, and everything is dependent on the government. So if you have a depression come along, such as we had in the 30s, instead of blaming the government that was at fault, what they'll do is they'll say, aha, the only way you can do this is turn all the responsibility over to the government. And the same way after 9/11, it was a great opportunity, and some of the neoconservatives admitted it. This is an opportunity for us to promote our views, because people are fearful. And when people are fearful, not only do they give up their economic freedoms, but too often they'll give up their personal liberties. But there's one conclusion I've come to about all the things that have been passed, all the bad legislation that has been passed by 9/11, is that there is absolutely no reason ever to give up any personal liberty to be safe.